Welcome to the channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. So in today's video, I'm reviewing a totally new brand from AliExpress. It's the first time I've featured this brand on this channel. It is, of course, Feice Original. I'm hoping that's how you say it, but I'm going to stick with that. So here's the watch. It comes in its transport box, which is fully branded, which is nice to see. And they're telling me this is just for me, so I already feel quite a bit special. Open up the cardboard, you've got your inner box which contains the watch. Let's take that away, and here's the box. Standard cardboard box. It's got some stick on there which is like a tamper proof, but it's not tamper proof. And then you've got your logo along the top, which is kind of rubbed out, so not the best in quality. Let's open that out, and then just a card saying thank you for choosing us, and if you've got any problems, check out the official website. And here's the watch. This is a square watch. Of course, you guys can see it's a homage to B&R. Now, interestingly enough, I did feature Feice on one of my old AliExpress videos. I pointed it as a brand that's quite interesting to look at. Now, it's taken them all that time, maybe a year or so, to reach out to me, and they offered me a watch, and I chose this B&R Homage. It's something that I put up out there because quite a long time ago when I did that video, somebody requested that I review this. So yeah, here it is. I've got it in. It comes in this box, as you can see, a user manual underneath it as well. Packaged reasonably well, as you can see some of the paw printing on there, but it does say Feice Original underneath, which they really shouldn't put that there because we know they are far from it. Considering the model. Now they've got quite a few models on their website or on their store on AliExpress, and they've got loads of followers, so it's quite a popular brand on AliExpress, I have to say. So feel free to check them out. And prices, they range from budget friendly to just a bit higher end. This particular one is just under £200, so around $240, $250. And for that, specification wise, you get a full stainless steel case, 100 meters of water resistance, a sapphire crystal, and you get a automatic movement. Now the movement in this watch is the Seagull 1612. Yes, it hacks and winds. It's got a date function, and it is quite similar in construction to the Miyota 8215. So I'll be checking that movement out in a lot more detail as we go on through the video. Now, dimensionally, it's not as big as it looks. It's a square watch, so you've got 42mm diameter and lug to lug, and you've got a 12.5mm thickness. Not so bad. And sometimes these numbers are crazy because, you know, the way it looks absolutely huge, and that doesn't look like it's 12.5mm thick, but it actually is. So yeah, it's crazy how numbers sometimes do that, and they're quite different to, you know, what you see in real life. And so you've quite a few features on this case. I don't know if these screws are faux. I guess I'll probably find out later. But I know this little thing here on the case that doesn't do anything, even though it's quite nicely made. You've got a little screw holding it down. You've got like some nailing there that doesn't turn, I don't think. You know, I'm trying to break my nails, but yeah, that doesn't do anything. You've got these wire lugs, a very wide strap coming at 26.5mm. Case back, let's see what the case back is saying. On the case back, it says a bunch of stuff. Aviation type, military spec. Okay, Feice logo, stainless steel case, giving you the WR, and it says do not unscrew right above the screw. And as soon as I read that, guys, every bone in my body wants to unscrew that. So we shall be unscrewing this later on. Yeah, so let's have a closer look at this. Let's see what we have from Feice. So as I said, it is a B&R homage. There's not that many of them around AliExpress. I don't know how popular the actual B&R watches are. It's something that doesn't really appeal to me. I've looked at only a few, maybe one or two square watches on this channel, and you know, I can definitely appreciate them. I don't know how I feel about actually wearing them. So with regards to this, very basic dial setup. You've got full on matte black dial, and it's more darker than it is that grey color that we see. Great legibility, very large numerals. You can see 12, 3, 6 and 9, typical kind of field style dial. You've got the Feice logo in white just below the 12, and all the text, you know, like stating water resistance or automatic. So it's nice and simple. I do like that. Great contrast, great legibility. You've got those soul style hands, sort of that Zin sort of look. Red tip on that black seconds hand, and the visuals are great. I think, you know, in any of the case they look awesome. You've got that small circular date window. Now I don't really like the date window because it's not that visible. It's a bit small, and I don't think all the numerals kind of stick out or, you know, are visible through this little hole. So it's something that I would have probably omitted and left out, and just gone away with it really. Yeah, it's so when you look at the 12s, 13s, 14s, the one is cut off, obscured with that little hole, so it doesn't look quite right. Let's check out that Lume, because it is a sandwich dial, so I'm assuming there's a shed load of Lume behind this, or at least I hope it is, considering it's a $240 watch. So let's have a look at that. So I'm glad to say the Lume is pretty decent on that sandwich dial, on the hands, very bright. It is C3, and it seems to have good longevity as well. So I'm impressed with that. They haven't cheaped out on the Lume. Everything is very bright. You can see everything, even layers applied, and no patchiness. So that's a thumbs up from me. Now, in terms of the finishing on the steel, you've got a circular brushed bezel. You've got a polished lip around the outside of the bezel, nice touch. And below that polished lip, you've got some more brushing. Even on the A face, across the screws, it is circular brushed. And the brushing is very well done. Good quality on that brushing, and there's no errors I can see, nothing sticking out. I like that polished highlight around that bezel. It does distinguish it from the rest of the case. And also along the outside of the case, you'll notice, let's give that a quick clean, you'll notice a polished edge, so which is of course beveled as well. So a nice deep bit of detail there. I like how that looks. And moving on to the side of the case, yes, fully brushed in a vertical fashion, and you got that polished crown there with the Feice logo. So the watch is finished well. You can feel it in the hand as well. Of course, there's no sharp edges. It's rounded off corners. Yeah, great brushing. So I like how that looks. So, for my first impressions, looking at this brand for the first time, yeah, they do pay attention to finishing. They've got great legibility on the dial, great lume. So far, it's looking quite good. Now, what I want to do is I want to get into some of these screws and see what that does. Also open the screw on the back. Before I do that, let me just look at the crown in a bit more detail. It's knurled really well. You get good grip, but I wish it was a bit bigger. I think for this size watch or this style, you want quite a decent and chunky crown. This comes in at only 6mm. It's a bit small. It is a bit fiddly, but you can just about grip it. And as we pull it out once, you'll notice that you can change the date there. Pull it to position 2, and you'll notice you can hack that second hand, and therefore go ahead and set that time. So while we open the case back, we'll also have a look at the movement in a bit more detail. So what does it say? Do not unscrew. No, we definitely are going to unscrew. So let's go ahead and unscrew that and see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't blow up anything. So single screw there. And what does that do? Nothing. Does the case back come off? I know the screws are here for the lugs. Now, do I need to do that? So now that we've got that off, can you take the case back off? No, you can't. So I'm thinking these screws might do it. So I'm hoping I've got the bits here that I need. So don't mind me, guys. I'm clearly just off on one because I've started doing this. So yes, the screws are actually real. And they come out and they work. So I'm assuming this is probably the way to open up the watch. Let's get them off. Thread it well enough. Now this, I suppose, is probably a safety feature. This is why they've done it like that. So let me get a smaller bit there. So when we unscrew that, okay, so the whole case lifts up from the front, and there you have the watch. You can see there's a movement holder holding that movement in there. And how would you go about removing this movement? So this is, I don't know how you'd go about taking that off, because you need to get underneath to get the crown off. So there should be a way. Okay, I know exactly what the screw does. So that's quite good. I've just figured out. Once you remove that screw, you can actually disengage the crown, because I don't know if you can see. Let me try and get in there. It actually shows you the part where to kind of press to get that crown out. So that's quite cool. Yeah, so if you just insert a tool like that, then you can actually disengage the crown. Let's put that back in, allowing you to kind of disassemble the watch. So that's quite cool, that is. I like that. Now hopefully I can get this crown back in and not have damaged the bloody movement.
3 hours later.
So basically what I did, I've broken the damn watch. Yeah, I was totally disrespecting it, I gotta say. I wasn't really being careful with anything. So what I did, I think I snapped off that pinion for the second hand, so that wouldn't go in. And then, you know, I couldn't get the crown in and stem in, sorry, so I just forced it in. Now it's stuck in this position, closed, but then the hands are moving. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. But fortunately enough, I did get to record the accuracy of the movement before this mishap. I'll put that video up now. Okay, so I've got the Seagull ST1612 in this Feice on my Timegrapher, as you can see. So these are the figures. We've got a very healthy amplitude of 302 degrees, 0 beat error. However, that will be affected by the lift angle. Now, I don't know if this is the correct lift angle. From what I've read, it's between 52 or 53, and it's running at minus 18 seconds a day. Now, although that's not too bad, it could do with some refining just to hone it in. I literally have zero experience with this. I don't know how accurate or reliable this movement is, but so far it's looking pretty decent. Let's just check with the 53 lift angle. So we've put the lift angle to 53. Let's see if that makes any difference. So it really hasn't made much difference. Still got the same accuracy, same amplitude, and same beat error. So I'm impressed with the beat error, and if you can regulate it, it'll be good to do so, and you can make this more accurate. Okay, so we know the movement is somewhat accurate, maybe fairly reliable. As you guys saw, I just went on a bit of an experiment here, took it apart and did what you guys should not do. So therefore, as a countermeasure and as an improvement for Feice in the future on these models, I've put some extra notes of guidance on there next to do not screw, because, you know, they really need to put down exactly what will happen. So I've just put that there for the future, not to unscrew this. Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, the watch is gone now. However, the only thing left now, I believe, is to put this on wrist, and let's see how it looks. Here's the Feice FM508 on my 6.5-inch wrist, and it's not too bad. I think the crown's a bit small, as I said. The watch is finished extremely well, great build quality, finishing is awesome. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to like about it. What I would say is, if you are going to go for that £200 price mark, I would definitely use a Miyota 9000 series, or something which, you know, we kind of know a bit more, something a bit recognizable, because that Seagull ST1612 is quite a cheap movement. So I don't know if most of the cost is down to the case, but I definitely think you need something more inside the watch in order to justify that £200 price mark. So that's it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed that review. Let me know your thoughts on this Feice FM508, and hopefully you found that a bit fun. Yeah, definitely a learning curve for me. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.